Welcome to another episode of Brit and Poland. And today, instead of focusing on Poland necessarily, I'm going to be focusing on a certain demographic that lives in Poland, and that will be the Brits. So, right now, I'm in front of the British Embassy. I thought, of all the places that are like the most British, this seemed to be the likely candidate. So I've started off here. And what is this video about? Well, it's difficult to say really what it means to be British, especially in this day and age. Like we're trying to kind of shed ourselves of a lot of the colonial past we have. We're kind of moving away from the church, you would say, like in large part. You know, a lot of our kind of cultural things are kind of being taken away from us to an extent. You know, something which is quite the opposite of Poland, which is, you know, a very cultural country and very, like, traditional country in many respects. But this video is to basically show people what life can be like in Warsaw for somebody who's British, in terms of how you can have that connection to home. So I'm going to try and detail like certain bars you can go to for English food, certain shops that you can go to get English stuff, certain events you can attend that will be in English, you know, just as a general thing. Now, on the whole, being able to speak English is pretty high in Poland. Of course, it varies region by region. Somewhere like Warsaw, most places you go will have somebody speaking English. You know, it's quite rare to be in a situation where you're completely stuck. And likewise, when you go to many of the museums, you will find that things are in in English, as well as in Polish. You know, when you're looking at the displays, when you're listening to some of the audio recordings, you know, so the British language is very well accommodated here, and there are a lot of language schools. In fact, this is where probably most Brits are employed in Poland, you know, teaching English. I'm an exception to that, but you never know one day. But I hope you find this video to be informative. I hope it gives you ideas, because I know us Brits sometimes, we miss the comforts of home. We miss certain staples of the English diet. We miss having like a feeling of our home country. So hopefully this video will give you some ideas on how to hold on to some of that. Or likewise, for any people, you know, who are curious about having English culture in their lives, this will show you where in Warsaw you can get that sort of thing. So I hope you enjoy.
Welcome to another Brit in Poland production. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, I would really appreciate it. And if you're interested in learning more about Poland and seeing the sights, the history, the customs, what it's like to live here, then feel free to subscribe. And if you want to contribute to this channel, please feel free to contribute to my Patronite account. Information is in the comments. Otherwise, please enjoy the video.
So we're going to start today's video at Legends Bar. Now, this is perhaps a place I don't frequent that often, but I have to say it is a great reminder of home. You can see from the decor inside that instantly, you know, it's trying to capture the British spirit. Actually, this place is British owned. I believe the owner's name is Graham. I'm still hoping I get an interview with him at some point. But this place is probably the closest you will get in Warsaw to that kind of English pub feel. And you have a lot of English people there as well. It's a very popular place to watch the football. I believe they'll also play the rugby, you know, various sports that you'll have. Of course, plenty of stuff behind the bar, including Guinness and maybe one or two English staples like Newcastle Brown Ale maybe. And also the food is really good here. This is perhaps the best English breakfast I have found in Poland, and even has, well, Irish sausages. You can get pies as well, which are pretty decent, I have to say. Mushy peas were a little questionable, but, you know, I'm not judging.
You've also got the Bulldog. Now, the Bulldog it's more of a touristy English pub. It's a good place for selfies. You can get some English pints here, like London Pride. Again, I don't think this one is English owned, but, it certainly is English themed. So again, it has that pub feel, good place to watch the football. And you can get some English food on the menu. So in particular, fish and chips, bangers and mash, which is, I have to say, a good standard. It may be a little pricier than some places, but it's very centrally located in Warsaw. And, if you're feeling nostalgic, quite worth the visit, I would say. So also you have a number of other bars, which are not necessarily British, but where you will find English people or English-speaking people. A lot of Americans also enjoy these places. Sometimes you will find English stuff on tap, or approximations of English staples of your ales and that kind of thing. So I've included a few here, like craft beer Moranov is my personal favorite. Piff Paff is a really good, really atmospheric place where certainly I've enjoyed many an evening. But I've also got Jabberwocky. I think partly for the name, because it's Jabberwocky is like a kind of, it's an old English folk tale. There was a film made by Terry Gilliam, but again, you get some, I'd say, some nice drinks in here. You can get good pizza and some Polish cuisine. And you have a couple of craft beer places in Old Town as well that are worth checking out. So I would stop by. Champions, okay, so this place is not British, but it is a sports pub. And quite a lot of Brits are into their football, into their rugby or whatever. And this place certainly caters for that. It has like a giant boxing ring in the middle as well, which is quite interesting. It's maybe a little pricier, certainly more kind of like American targeted, but you have pool. I think you might have darts in there as well. So yeah. And then you have places to buy English food. Deals often apparently has some like English stuff available. But this place, the British shop, is the best place I've found so far. And I was actually surprised by the amount of, the number of goods that I've not seen anywhere else. So you can see you've got your classics, your PG tips, your Twinings, you tea lovers there are certainly catered for. But, you have all kinds of like cooking ingredients as well, custard powder, different sort of Nesquik, certain brands you might miss from home. This is one of the only places I've seen salt and vinegar crisps or prawn cocktail. Again, hard to find in Poland. And certainly last but not least, Lucozade. Lucozade is probably one of the drinks I miss most from the UK, so it's good to see that. You also have some random like foreign food shops. So this place is in Arcadia. You've got like Iron Brew. And again, you have a few kind of English cooking ingredients. You got your Marmite there, your Coleman's mustard, all kinds of different brands that are worth the look.
Hello, so as part of my Being British in Poland video, I wanted to introduce you to Darren. Say hello, Darren.
Hello, how's it?
So, Darren here has Harry's Kitchen, and Harry's Kitchen, I have to say, I've just had some sausages and mash, I've just had a steak pie, and these are products that are like gold dust in Warsaw. You can go to places like Legends and get some food, sure, but I'll be honest, the stuff I've just tasted here, 10 times better. So, hang on. Oh, there's always one siren in the background, but he'll be fine. But okay, Darren, just quickly
tell us a bit about your food, about your passion here.
So, our food here at Harry's Kitchen is an infusion of South African and British street food. We have taken the food concept from both countries and put them in one kitchen. So whatever you find in the UK or in South Africa in the street, you find them in Harry's Kitchen. For instance, the British meat pie, you find them all over in South Africa. You go to your nearest car garage, you go anywhere down the road in any shop, you find yourself a meat pie. Likewise in the UK too. Same with the sausages. Sausages are very popular in South Africa and in the United Kingdom. So we create two different kinds of sausages. The one South African boerewors, which is a mixture of beef and pork together. It's mainly beef at about 70 to 80%, and the rest is pork, just to add in softness of the sausages. And then our second sausage is the English pork banger, which is made purely from pork, finely minced to a thinner cut, and that is seasoned with leek and rosemary, English cloves, and nutmeg. We also try to do a little bit of other kinds of food for the Polish market, but yeah, we're still experimenting. So that's the whole point about Harry's Kitchen. It's an experimental kitchen. We like to try and do different kinds of foods to adapt to each area that we go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so far we are still learning, especially about the Polish market, because it is really difficult.
Yes, we've been having a good discussion about that. But if you would like to know more, we're going to do a longer video together so you can learn the ins and outs. But for the importance of this video, if you want to get any of these products, and I really do recommend you try, we have Bolt Food, Pyszny and Glovo. So, or you can come out here. I'll put the address. It's a little bit in a remote part of Warsaw at the moment, but might be coming to Prague in the summer. But I honestly recommend you try it. You know, it's like British food with a wonderful kind of South African like enhanced flavour to it. So do try, and I will show you some other little gems around the UK, around Poland.
So of course you can see movies in English, all of your classic British and American films that make it across the continent. They can be in Polish, they can be in English. Look for napisy, which means subtitles. Now let's go on to bookshops. So this particular store is my favourite, I have to say. It's right by Old Town, so it's quite easy to find. And to me, it has one of the best selections. A lot of classics, you know, a bit of sci-fi, history books, all kinds, self-help books, all kinds of books in here. You know, of course you pay a little premium for books in English, but the selection here, I have to say, is very impressive. So I sincerely recommend this store to anyone looking for any English books. And you have a nice children's selection as well for if your kids want to learn some English. But it's not the only bookstore that sells English books. You have another one which is a bit more central. It's a foreign bookstore. Sadly, the opening times are a bit poor at weekends, so it closes at 2 o'clock. But again, it's somewhere where I've been, and I've bought some books there in the past. And, you know, again, you know, reasonable selection. It's just those opening hours, which can be a bit of a pain. So get there early. But again, you've also got the books.pl. I haven't actually been here yet, but it comes highly recommended. So it's a place that I am desperately needing to try out. I think it's more secondhand books, but again, meant to be really good. And you can go to some Empik stores. Some will have a, let's say, limited selection of books in English. So, you know, if you want the latest novels, a good place to go. Now, one thing you may discover when you get to Poland is the sweets you get here are perhaps not what we're used to in England. Haribo is the most common you'll find, which you're familiar with. Now, the sweet factory, this is on Nowy Świat. This has an amazing selection. Like, you'll see so many things that you are just like, oh, I miss those. Like, oh, they're so tasty. And, you know, you fill a cup, basically, and, you know, you pay, I think, 7 zloty per 100 kilograms. I have to admit, I think I got about 800 kilos there. Club Spassive, I haven't been to yet, but apparently they do English, like an English discotheque. So Britpop style music. I think it's Lunatic or something like that. And they also do stand-up comedy nights in English as well, as does Club Boho, which I went to the other night. And they had a whole range of comedians all speaking in English. And it was entertaining if you can stand a bit of offensive humor, but well recommended, I must say.
House parties, very often, you know, like you meet some people who are new in Warsaw. They are from different, you know, far away side of civilization, something like Bydgoszcz, and they're coming to Warsaw, and they see an Indian person for the first time in their life, and they get excited. Very often, you know, we get the first exchange, like, hi, my name is this, and all that, and the first thing they're like one girl, one time she said, I love samosa. I'm like, are you expecting me to give you a samosa right now? What the fuck is happening? Did some Indian told her someday that, you know, like, you meet an Indian, talk to him 5 minutes, he should give you a samosa?
What's the difference between Americans and Germans? You know, maybe? No, that's good. That's good. Americans use gas, but instead of fuel, but German just use gas. Just, and I said about Americans. I really like Americans and Germans. Really, I like them. One thing about Americans is like they're crazy about being confident. You know, like very crazy. Like being a guy with low confidence in America is like being a black Jewish gay in Poland.
There are a few other places that might remind you of home. Herbaten is tea in this case, or time for tea, this particular shop. Costa Coffee, you see everywhere. I was very surprised to see this brand. You can see the Lego store behind it. Okay, that's Danish, but still. Yeah, a little surprise. Nice little 007, I think some watches or something. Aston Martin, which I think I've been told is no longer British, but still, you know, I can't see Aston Martin without thinking British, so pretty cool. You know, you just get these little reminders of home dotted around, you know. There are lots of kinds of shops as well. There's a tea house, you know, they drink a lot of tea in Poland. They don't add milk. Here you have Delicia, which are basically Polish Jaffa cakes. It's just as tasty. And, of course, I couldn't do a video without including some Irish pubs. So this is your typical place abroad. There's a nice pint of Guinness for you. And, you know, these places, again, they tend to have live music. They tend to show the sport. And they're a good bit of fun. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any other British shout-outs in Warsaw, then please feel free to comment. For sure, I didn't get to every place that was recommended to me. But these are the places I would personally recommend. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and do zobaczenia.